I have always had a addictive personality. Ever since I was a young man, I've noticed that everything that I show interest in, anything that I have an obsession or a passion for, anything that I enjoy, I have that massive, relentless addiction to it. I have an addictive personality. And this is something that I hear a lot of from entrepreneurs and businessmen, especially the top one percenters, the really driven, the elite, the super generous, the super successful. I really notice this is a common comment or thread from my guys. And I mean, I know if you're watching this video that you can understand and appreciate that you also have, in one shape or form or another, that same addictive personality. And it's interesting because we can use our personality, which is what we have, it's who we are. I believe that a character is set. Your character is set between the ages of 3 and 5. You may agree or disagree. But I believe that's why it's so important, those first 5 years of a child's life, that we are reading and we are spending time and we are building values and all of these things. But I think when it comes to our addictive personalities, especially as entrepreneurs, is that we use any dark side that we have, any demons that are with us each day. You can call it the good wolf versus the bad wolf on each shoulder. Which wolf dominates your life? Well, the one that you feed. You either feed the bad wolf or you feed the good wolf. And I find this stuff fascinating because myself having an addictive personality, as I get older and wiser, I'm starting to use my personal my personal addictions, my personal demons. Call it my dark side, what Tim Grover, the great Tim Grover, talks about in Relentless and the book Winning, is using these things to serve me instead of not serve me. And that's just being experienced and wise, where recognizing, first of all, accurate thinking, that I do indeed have an addictive personality. Whatever I do, I pour my heart and soul into it. If I buy a hockey team, I pour my heart and soul into that hockey team until the job is done, until the mission is accomplished. It's no different when I went in the insurance business. I poured my heart and soul into the mission of making my dad's insurance agency #1 in the country. That was my mission. You want to talk about addiction? I mean, it was all I would talk about. It was all I couldn't shut up about it. And hours would go by and I didn't even know. I would just be working on the mission. And that's addiction. That's addiction to results. That's addiction to a challenge. That's addiction to entrepreneurship, whatever you want to say. Same when I started up the barber shop 5.5 years ago. Here's something, I'm not a barber. I don't have a license to do that. I just went on a mission for 90 days to build it from scratch, to design it, to create it, to fill it with staff, to build the systems out. And literally, I just use my addiction, my addictive personality, my dark side, and I use, the dark forces or whatever you want to call them just to drive me. And anything negative that I've had in my life, I use now in my, it's part of the demons that we all have, is I now use those as they're my best friend. If somebody told me I can't do something, or if somebody pissed me off, or somebody did any of these things, then I'm just using that now as gasoline and fuel. I'm no longer at my stage in my career. I'm no longer holding grudges. I have a long memory, but I'm proving people wrong and I'm proving myself right in many situations where somebody shortchanged me or somebody said I couldn't do something or whatever you want to call it. I'm now using that stuff. I'm using my dark side. I'm using my demons, and I'm using my addictive personality to drive me to be a better businessman, a better marketer, a better husband, a better father, a better community leader. I'm using that as my fuel and my gasoline. But if you have an addictive personality like I do, and whatever you do it 200%, and you do it all the way, and it consumes you. It's about choosing things. It's about, for me now, about choosing positive addictions. In other words, instead of, doing things that are negative in our marriages, negative for our children, negative for our health, we choose things that serve us and make us the best version of ourselves. In other words, you have an addictive personality. You're not going to change. I'm one of the only consultants or coaches that's actually going to have the balls to say that, but you're not going to change a whole bunch. And this is where using the good wolf versus the bad wolf, this is where using those types of things really makes a difference. Where you now choose consciously and subconsciously, you choose your vices, you choose, your demons, and you use your addictive personality to fuel you. And you pick things like, if you ever came into one of our homes, you would just look around, and anywhere that I take up living space, there are books and magazines and more books and coaching programs and highlighters and pens and literally feet and piles of those recipe cards that I use to write down my aha distinctions, game changers. And we had some friends over last night and to go out to dinner, and before we invited them over to sit by the pool for a few minutes before we went downtown. And anybody that enters our space, especially my home office, they're just like, holy shit, what is this? Because they're the 99%, right? They don't have any clue. They don't get a guy like me. They don't get a guy like you. They live a normal life. But it's amazing to see that I am totally and completely addicted to personal growth. Constant and never-ending improvement. And anybody who looked at the books, the 50 books I have, the pens, the papers, the newsletter, if anybody picked up my mail, they would just be like, this guy has a serious problem. And when Leanne, my badass head bitch, Leanne Brennan, started getting my mail for me, okay? About 10 months ago, she started working for me and she started getting my mail. And it was interesting because when she goes to get my mail, it's just a question of how thick it is. Like on some days, it's like 6 inches. On other days, it's 4 inches. And this is all the stuff that I'm subscribed to. This is all the newsletters. This is all the books, everything that's coming in. So she at first, she's like, this guy's mail is as crazy as he is. And that's because of my addiction to learning. I can't go a day without sitting down and reading for an hour by the pool or at the end of the dock. I can't. If I don't read at least 1 hour a day, which is one of my personal rules, I would just be a miserable SOB to be around because I'm addicted to learning. I have to be learning every day for an hour. So that's a very positive addiction that I brought into my life. When I graduated university, I had never read a book in my life, not one. With 2 degrees, I'd never read a book. I got through without learning. So this is something that I've instituted into my life. I didn't ever think I would read or write or be a marketer or any of that stuff. And that's an addiction that I used and I developed in my life with my addictive personality. Walking is another thing. I am totally addicted to walking 4 miles a day. I get up in the morning and I get in my 15,000 steps. That's basically, it's between 12 and 15,000 steps. And I'm addicted to walking. I've been doing walking. I've been walking since I was in the insurance business when I first started with my dad. I put on 23 pounds in the first 90 days, sitting in a cubicle for the first time in my life. I was a sports guy. I was a pro guy, an amateur guy. So I was used to having exercise as part of my job. When that stopped, I put on all kinds of weight. So when my dad said, you're going to end up being a 350 pound fat insurance guy, I lost the weight in like 90 days, and I did it by walking. But here's the thing, I'm totally addicted to walking. And on a rare day in the year where I don't get up and I don't throw on my clothes and go for a walk, at least, 2 miles out and 2 miles back, I'm a miserable SOB to be around. I'm a caged animal who's out of his environment. And this goes back to feeding that addiction, that I'm so addicted that I need that daily hit of learning. I need that daily hit of walking. And I've actually done it for something that I enjoy, but it's not something I love every day, which is writing. I enjoy writing, but I don't love it. Some days it's great and some days it's not so great. Depends on the day. But every single day for the last 20 plus years, I get up and I write. And I view writing as, people say, Michael, what do you write? Well, I copyright. So I send an email like today. I send a video every day. I have to write that email. I write things that bring me money. It could be an email. It could be, I could be working on a website. I could be working on a newsletter. I could be working on a fax. I could be working on one of my telegrams. I could be working on a post for a blog, whatever it is. It's something that's going to bring me money sooner or later, present bank or future bank. So it's just amazing how I am now addicted, literally addicted to writing every day. Some days I write an hour, which is my rule, and 7 days a week, by the way. And some days I write for 5 and 6 hours, like when I'm preparing for my Brotherhood Coaching Society. So it depends on the time of the year and the day and all that stuff. But literally, if I do not write for at least 1 hour, once again, just like the rest of my routine, I'm a frustrated and miserable SOB to be around. And I'm really actually happy about this now, because those are the 3 things, my big stones, my big rocks that I have to do every day. If I do those 3 things, if I walk and I read and I write, I'm showing up as my best version of myself. And by the way, all those things make me a better husband and father and community leader. They just do. So I've built into my life these addictions because I understand that I have an addictive personality. And it also goes the same with changing anything that we're addicted to. If a person quits smoking, to be successful, you have to quit smoking. And the second part of that is you have to replace the behavior with something else, which is positive. So when people quit smoking and they quit smoking for good, they're the people who quit smoking and took up walking. They're the people that quit. They're the men who quit smoking and now have a gym membership and use it. That's the kind of, you have to replace one addiction with another. And that's what this is what my message is all about, is replacing a negative addiction with a positive addiction. Drinking is the same thing. You stop drinking alcohol. It's one of your rules, no more drinking alcohol. That's one of my rules. And I've replaced it with several other different addictions. It's just one of those things where I would rather read. I would rather go boating. I would rather spend time with my wife. I would rather, all these different things. So the question is, in your life as a businessman, first of all, recognizing, is this your personality? And instead of trying to change it, all that bullshit about change, we're not looking for change. A badass millionaire is about progress. Anybody can change. In fact, 99% of the people on this planet, that's all they do is change. You change by doing nothing. You change by doing nothing. You become older, and that's change. You can change. Oh, he's changed. He's become older. People don't change. They stop growing and they become older. That's the 99%. You need to be the 1% where progress every day is the goal. Getting that 0.001% better in your life, better husband, better father, better grandfather, better marketer, better community guy. And that's called progress, getting a little bit better, chipping away at it, pounding the rock every single day. And to me, that's so much more important than just change, because who wants to change? But using your addictive personality, especially if you have a highly addictive, competitive personality like I do, using that and eliminating any negative habits, any negative forces in your life, cutting the rope with those, taking the swift sword to anything that doesn't serve you anymore, and replacing those addictions literally with new addictions that do serve you. You know, and like I said, I'm addicted to learning. I'm addicted to reading. I'm addicted to walking. You see this with guys. I mean, I've been around pro athletes and amateur athletes, some of the best for 22 years. And the best of the best are literally addicted to working out. They're literally addicted to that runner's high. They literally get that high from going to the gym, and they're addicted to winning and everything that goes with that. And that's the best of the best. So my question is, what can you eliminate? What addictions in your life, and we all have them, are not serving you? Are you addicted to your phone? Are you addicted to anti-social media? Are you addicted to the praise of other people? Are you addicted to, I don't know what, food after dinner? Are you addicted to colas and sugar drinks and coffees? And taking these things and saying, okay, making a rule and saying, I no longer participate in social media, but then start reading real physical books and newsletters and replace that negative addiction with something positive, something that serves you. Or making a rule that says, I don't eat after 7 p.m. every night. And instead of sitting there watching TV when you're normally, chewing on food that doesn't serve you and makes you fat and old, saying, okay, one of my rules is I no longer eat after 7 o'clock, but also at night, you and your wife, instead of sitting there watching TV, you go for a walk every night. You walk for 45 minutes together with no technology. And instead of sitting there eating, you don't eat anything till the next day. And it gives your body a chance to cleanse, to digest, and all that kind of stuff. And even another example is, if you're addicted, really addicted, like 99% of people, where you're a slave to your phone, where you're letting people know that you're needy and that you're undisciplined because you're addicted to this phone. It's a terrible example for your children. It shows, the addiction is there every day, and looking around and saying, if everybody's doing this, then it's dead wrong. Well, everybody is doing it, so it is dead wrong. But doing what I do is like taking chunks of time where you put the phone away, you literally lock it away in the trunk of your car, in a drawer, whatever, and going for a walk with your wife. So trying to reduce the addiction of your phone, because it's very difficult, and saying, okay, I'm gonna leave my phone at home for an hour. I'm gonna go to this dentist appointment without my phone. I'm gonna go to my kid's soccer game and I'm gonna leave my phone at home. Not turned off, at home. And then you don't have to use willpower. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. You're just starting to break the addiction. And then you're present there for your wife and your kids when you're not on your phone and you don't have your phone. Well, guess what? You're getting gradually rid of a terrible addiction, an insidious addiction to your phone, and you're replacing it with practicing to be more present with your wife, more present with your children, more present wherever you need to be. And like I said, that's just using what you already have, in most cases, an addictive personality, using it to serve you and your family. So that's it for today. What we pick into our world is everything. As you build a brand new world, you can build your own personal world, you can build your own business, corporate world, whatever you want to call it, your own society, your own planet. But you get to pick and choose what you allow into your world. But it starts with you, number one. What are the habits? What are the rituals that you're going to invite into your world? And let's just assume that you do, like me, have a highly addictive personality. What are the negative addictions? What are the demons that, you know, who is your dark passenger? Who is the dark passenger that walks with you? My dark passenger is with me 24 hours a day. But now, unlike when I was younger and wet behind the ears, I'm using my dark passenger as my friend. I'm using my demons now as my friend. I'm using my dark side as fuel and gasoline to, you know, just pound forward and hammer and be relentless on my personal mission as a husband and father and businessman. And taking one behavior, taking one addiction, and replacing it with something positive. That's the secret. It's got to be the two prongs. Take the axe to one and invite in the good one. Take the axe, the swift sword, cut the rope with one, and invite in that new addiction that serves you. That's a powerful lesson I just handed you. I hope you take it to heart. Winning is about heart and soul. Winning in your business and in your personal life, building your world, it's about heart and soul. It's not about cliches, and it's about being honest, authentic, and non-needy. So I hope you'll take this message. If you like these videos, I shoot them every day, by the way. You can like them below, but more importantly, hit the subscribe button, because I do 365 of these videos a year. I shoot them by myself. I don't have anybody to help me. I'm shooting this on a cracked iPhone 7, because I don't carry a phone most of the time. And I'm literally out here just taking you on an adventure every day. I don't edit these. I don't start and stop them. I don't clean them up. I don't change my language. They're unplugged, unfiltered, politically incorrect in most cases, and completely raw and authentic. And if you like them, great. If you don't like them, even better. But if you'd like to see more of them, I shoot them every single day. And you can be notified by subscribing to this channel below. Regardless, I'll be out here every single day serving businessmen on my mission to help 1 million businessmen transform their lives and start living life and doing business on their own terms. That's it. I am off today on a boat cruise with my wife and daughter. We are in Naples, and we are going to be cruising on a 30-foot pontoon boat. I chartered this with a captain, and he's going to take us around today to all of the celebrity homes. Now, people would say, like, I don't give a shit about celebrities. I honestly don't. I don't follow any of that stuff. I don't participate in the news or social media or any of that stuff. But you know what I love? I love affluence. I love success. I love excellence. So wherever we are, I always make it a point, and you can see these places by boat better, is I always go on a private tour. I rent my own boat, and we go and we look at these homes. Michael Jordan has a home here in Naples. He probably doesn't ever live at it. Doesn't matter. I have to go see it. That is so good for wealth attraction, for mindset, for growth. Mary Kay, the late Mary Kay, has, I think, one of the largest homes here in Naples. We're going to go see that by boat today. And these things just serve to inspire us, to motivate us, to see the next level. And most importantly, they help you solidify your mind of abundance. We live in the greatest country in the world, in the greatest time to ever be alive. Yes, 2022 is the greatest time to be alive. There's more advantages now, more head starts, more abundance, more opportunity than there ever has been in history. If you don't know that, you need to learn your history. What's happening is not new. We just live in the greatest country in the world. We're awash in abundance and opportunity. You need that mindset of abundance, not scarcity. And that's what this boat cruise today with my wife and daughter and a couple of friends of mine is all about, is seeing next level success. Seeing people that pick themselves up from nothing to become they built kingdoms, they built empires. Those are the people that I like to study. The people that started with nothing and nobody gave them a chance, and they built empires. They built personal empires, and they built their own worlds. And I love going to see that today, and that will inspire me for the next several days once I get home from that family trip. So there's always a method to the madness, right? We're always working. If you build your own world, it's a seamless life. There is no difference between pleasure and work and family. Everybody that's in your world, you're all part of it. Just keep inviting your kids to do things with you. Keep inviting your wife to do things with you. If they choose to come, great. If not, the show continues. And don't be surprised if eventually they start showing up more, especially if you show up as a present and connected father and king in your home. That's it. 2 words that changed my life. 2 words that'll change your life. Be relentless.